Vice President Kashim Shettima has reaffirmed the federal government commitment to gender equality and women's empowerment, calling for transformative policies to address structural inequalities in Nigeria. It stated this on Monday during the H.I.D Awolowo Foundation Webinar commemoration of the 109th posthumous birthday of late Chief Hannah Idowu Awolowo, wife of late Chief Obafemi Awolowo. Shettima described gender equity as essential for building a balanced society. The Vice President further commended President Bola Tinubu for inclusive governance, noting the influence of Tinubu's mother, Alhaja Abibatu Mogaji, in advancing women's rights. In a keynote of address, the UN Deputy Secretary General Amina Mohammed emphasized the need to eliminate gender-based violence, marking the International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women. She urged systemic change to ensure women's full participation in society. Welcoming guests to the webinar, earlier Chairperson and co-founder of the Obafemi Awolowo Foundation, Dr. Olatokunbo Awolowo Dosumu, noted that in building a more viable Nigeria, the role of women should not be overlooked.
Women have always been a source of balance in every society. Every nation's treatment of women therefore serves as the ultimate marker of its civilization. It happens in Susan B. Anthony and Elizabeth Cady Stanton of a society that offers women access to education, opportunity, and equality. Education in particular remains the most powerful tool for nurturing the potential of our girls. It is the foundation upon which their dreams can take root, even in the most challenging times. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the task ahead of us remains urgent. More than ever before, we are compelled to reverse the uncertainties that threaten to deepen inequalities in our nation. We must, with this complacency, Rome was not destroyed by outside invaders. Rome was destroyed by the complacency of the Romans. We are working to create an environment where women are not just supported, but celebrated, where their aspirations are not confined by societal expectations, but unleashed to redefine those expectations. The nation we must build is where no girl is denied the chance to learn, where no woman is denied the opportunity.
Nice to have, but as an absolute priority, essential to progress. And while we are making the laws, let us not just feel that it's okay for us to save a woman from violence in the home, only to put her in a safe house outside of the home. Let us make sure that the laws actually take the perpetrator of the violence out of the home and leave the woman in her safe house, which is her home with her children and her family. And fourth, we need men, all men, to stand with us as allies. The Vice President is an example to all the men in Nigeria and across Africa. We will never achieve true gender equality and fairness, equity and justice for all, without all people, regardless of their gender, standing as one. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, supporting women is not just the right thing to do, it's a smart thing to do. Societies cannot achieve the just and equal society envisioned and exemplified by the H.I.D Awolowo by leaving one half of the world's population behind. Let's follow her example. Let's work to unlock the potential of women, all women, and make real H.I.D Awolowo's inspiring and timeless vision. I wish all of us today that we take the outcomes from this very, very important gathering into our work, and our work in every domain matters, be it in the United Nations, but also in our markets, in our lives, entrepreneurial or otherwise, in government, at whatever level we find ourselves, from local to state to federal to the region, but also in our writings, in our voices, that must amplify all of those.
A group was formed called the Mano River Women Peace Network under the auspices of the ECOWAS, and their mission was to advocate for and promote peace at all decision-making levels. The involvement of women and youth in the prevention, management, and resolution of conflicts in the Mano River region of Guinea, Liberia, and Sierra Leone was very important then. Like we all know, all those areas had crisis. It served, the Mano River Women Unit served as a catalyst for sustainable peace, human security and justice by ensuring gender-responsive policies and building women, girls' capacity for social, economic, political empowerment and human development for all. This webinar brings together His Excellency, the Vice President of Nigeria, Senator Shettima, GCON, Her Excellency Dr. Amina Mohammed, Deputy Secretary General of the United Nations, state governors, first ladies, thought leaders, policy makers, and advocates to explore practical strategies for empowering women to lead the change in building a more viable and inclusive Nigeria. I am confident that in building a more viable and inclusive Nigeria, it will be important that the role of women should not be ignored. On behalf of the H.I.D Awolowo Foundation, I thank you all for your presence, commitment, and contribution to this vital conversation. Together, let us chart a path towards a society where the potentials of women is fully realized, utilized, and celebrated for a better future for our country. I would like to thank you all for finding the time this evening, well, depending on your time.
It is with immense pleasure and gratitude that I welcome you all to this timely and important discussion hosted by the H.I.D Awolowo Foundation. Today's webinar centered on the theme, Building a Viable Society to be Shared, Understood, and Applied in Nigeria and beyond. There are ideals of visionary leadership, equality, and the pursuit of a better society are universal truths that resonate far beyond our borders. We are tasked with carrying forth the torch they lit, ensuring that it burns brightly for generations to come. This is the logic behind the decision